Where am I supposed to look here? You?
Okay. You just go ahead and start with, yesterday was the first time you played at home in like 31 days. Just the identity you've developed at home, the numbers, especially offensively, are much different than on the road, but just kind of the identity you've developed at home this year.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I think the normalcy of home is always a benefit. Starting with the offense, just start with the crowd noise, the familiarity, all that is very helpful offensively. I think you do have an opportunity to start the game with a faster tempo than your opponent at home. And I'll just say this again, just as I said last night, I thought the crowd was incredible. I thought the environment, the towels, and that's probably as good of a home field that I've seen, especially this year. So I thought our crowd was tremendous, and we got off to a fast start with the takeaways and the quick touchdowns, and and when you get that momentum, our guys just played to it, and obviously we had a big evening.
Was the state to do the normal administrative COVID work? Any new COVID tests this week or today?
Yes, we have one new one. Francis Bernard tested positive today.
Mike, several of your players discussed how effective up-tempo was yesterday. What do you think was working for y'all? And philosophically, what dictates your decision on when you want to go up-tempo?
I mean, it's part of the game plan process. So there's things you talk about each and every week. There's always different variables that bring that on. But yes, definitely. I mean, I think our guys excel at the up tempo, the pace operation. I think it definitely fits the way they train, and it definitely was very beneficial for us yesterday.
Is tempo something that you have to monitor, or can you go full throttle all game?
Can you? Yeah, it's a challenge to do that, but I think like anything, it's it's part of the game plan, and it's part of can the other team handle it too? So I think just like anything in this game, you need to be able to be diverse in your approaches. And I'm talking about the different type of huddles. We break it up into standard huddle. We have no huddle. We have different forms of no huddle. We have we have fastball. We have on the ball. Then you obviously have your 2-minute operation. So I think that the ability to have all those different operations and have the cadence utilization. We had the 2 free plays. Were two big plays for us. Coming off that, so I mean, you need all that, and we're going to see more and more of it. We'll see more this week, and especially we get into the playoffs with these veteran quarterbacks.
Mike, what does it say about your group that you've had about 19 different guys score a touchdown for you this year?
I think it speaks volumes to our ability to make plays. I mean, big play potential is definitely throughout our football team. I mean, you recognize that early, just for the the diversity in our talent, the way it's spread out. So, and I think it's like anything. It's really also a byproduct of how we want to play and how we train. We spend an extraordinary amount of time on handling the football, and we have guys that can make big plays, getting the football in their hands, whether it's our defense or if it's our offense. And I think it's definitely part of our identity.
With COVID for Francis, obviously that's unfortunate. Pairing with that, with the groin. What's the outlook with the groin injury following additional evaluation?
I don't have a timeline for you. I think right now the focus is the COVID protocol.
Mike, it's hard to get in the position you guys are in right now. It doesn't happen every year, obviously. How much do you worry about COVID screwing it up?
Well, I mean, I'm worried about COVID just like the rest of the league is. I think just like anything, you have protocols, you have a means to operate, to do the best you can. We went to virtual last week. I think it shows you where our mind is on defeating us. But it's just another variable in our league and to be successful. So we'll just continue. I mean, we have experience. The experience from last year is definitely beneficial. So we'll do the best we can with it.
Mike, you talked after the game about how you've had number one offense before, and that's not enough. You have to be complementary across the board. With this particular team, when did you start seeing that, where you saw it on defense and special teams that could be on that same level with the offense? Was it in camp? Was it after you guys started putting the roster together? Just when did that kind of click for you?
I mean, you can see it last year. I mean, we were out of balance as a football team. I think it was, something that was clearly evident at the start of last season. I think then once the injuries started to happen, dealing with the COVID and just some of the other circumstances and challenges we had to go through. So, I would not say last year's team was nearly balanced as this year's team. So I think it was clearly something that went into the offseason. I think the way we changed the defensive personnel was a huge step in the right direction, and it's just something that we've been focused on since I arrived here.
Mike, we asked you a lot about a team's identity and how it develops, but have you also found that a team develops slightly different identities at home and on the road over the course of the season because of, like some of the things you mentioned before, just about the home crowd and fueling and that symbiotic relationship there that you don't, it's not quite the same on the road. Can you develop different identities?
Well, I think definitely. I agree with your point. I think really, winning on the road is not as big as a challenge, in my opinion, as it was probably 10, 15 years ago. I think you can even go back to college football. I think that you have players coming into our league that thrive at playing offense and defense at the line of scrimmage. So they have a much more experience in dealing with that. So with that, the no huddle components, just the ability to play and the noise doesn't factor as much. And I think the home field advantages are harder to keep for the home stadiums. You see more visiting fans in stadiums, particularly if you're a stadium that people really want to go to or a team you really want to go to. So I do think that home field advantage is not quite what it used to be. I just remember my time in Kansas City. You almost felt like you were guaranteed 7-8 wins a year at home just because we had great defense and the crowd was phenomenal. So and I think as time moves through, I think that the home field is something that is definitely still a benefit, but I think the statistics would support that the challenge of winning on the road. I think teams do a better job of it in today's game.
Mike, tomorrow is the first time other teams can talk to coaches from opposing teams for potential head coaching jobs. Has anybody reached out regarding Kellen or Dan?
I have not had any conversations in that regard.
Mike, we've talked a lot with you about the different instincts that allow Trayvon to keep making these interceptions, but can you talk about what momentum it gives the team when he does that on the first defensive play of the game and how that defense was able to really spark the offensive energy as well?
I mean, those are huge plays, huge momentum plays, and I think just the fact that they come out and challenge them right away, I think is definitely you could just see our sideline interrupted. So yeah, that was a big play, and I think it definitely got it started, and and definitely didn't stop until halftime. So I think what he's established as part of what he's done not only this year, but you see him every day at practice. When the ball goes up and he's in the area, all eyes are on Trayvon because everybody, it's gotten to a point because you go up and you expect him to come down with it. So I mean he's established that, and that's a real credit to him.
Mike, Marcus is the longest tenured defensive player you guys have here. When guys, and by no means old, but when guys get to his age in his career, when they haven't won, do you see a sense of urgency? And is that at all playing more part in what he's been able to do since coming back, do you think?
Definitely, and I think it's definitely here for the people that have been here. So, and that's healthy. It's all energy to me is an opportunity to build something with, and in the urgency of maybe not quite being in this position before, I think it's definitely something you can utilize, and it definitely exists. Yeah, no question.
Mike, Kelvin Joseph got his first start for you last night. How did he break out? How did you see him?
Thought he played well. I thought definitely just the way it all come about, and I think it's a credit to him and credit to our coaching staff and just really the part of the environment that we're in right now. You're not going to have, you may not have the whole week to get the preparation to to get you ready for Sunday, because you may find out on Saturday, you may find out on Friday. So I thought he stepped in there and didn't blink, and played physical, had a number of plays we can definitely build off of. So, but I thought he did a nice job, and I thought Anthony Brown did a really good job playing nickel, especially for not really having much practice time in there too. So I thought both those guys nailed it last night.
In that same vein of DeMarcus and the older players getting that perspective with time in the league, is that applicable to coaches as well? Do you find for you that this team and this season maybe resonate at all differently, or your realization of the personal opportunity of leading the team that has this potential?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think just like anything, whether you're raising children or you go look back on your professional career here in the NFL, you wonder where it all went. It just goes by so fast, and I think you definitely have to stay in the moment. Be where your feet are, and I think it's very important. So being fortunate to be in these types of situations, you really relish how special it is. I mean, this is a season that has an excellent opportunity to be that special season. So, and I think with that, and I think you guys are doing a great job asking questions to try to knock me off my focus here. But I think it's important for us to stay truly in the moment, stay where we are. I mean, we have a playoff team coming here, Sunday in the Arizona Cardinals, and we had a nice time last night in the locker room. It was fun, but this is, we view this as the starting line. This is not the goal. This isn't the ending game. So we feel like the real football starts now. I mean, it's we know exactly what's in front of us, and this is a very important game, and we have an excellent contest to build off of. You like the confidence that comes with it, but at the end of the day, keeping things in perspective, it's one win, and it was a fun win, and it was a timely win, and it was definitely something that we can pay forward with. But this is about Arizona, and this is what we started in April for to put us in this position, and so we got to make sure we take full advantage of this opportunity.
Along those same lines of what you just said, how much is Dak a part of delivering that message? Because he's been consistent with us that he knows what the goal is and where he wants to go, but there is what's coming before then. How important is he in delivering the message that you just kind of said?
Well, I think messaging is very important, and I think it shows you the focus of the whole team and the whole football operations. There's different ways to do things. There's different ways to go about training the team, but at the end of the day, everybody has a role, and everybody has a part in it. And when you are a key messenger, for our football team, it's important for all of us to stay in the same focus, because it's difficult to go the whole year and get to where you want to go. There's so much that happens. I mean, every day there's something that we have to report that. Just because change is constant, that's the only thing that's consistent in this league right now. So I think messaging is important, and it's important to stay on point to keep the focus tight.
Mickey?
Mike, you've been in the league for quite some time, and no player has had as many interceptions in a single season as Trayvon Diggs. Can you kind of just put that in perspective of what he's really accomplished?
Well, I mean, it's a special season, and I think just the way he goes about it, usually when you have that type of productivity, you don't get as many opportunities. But I think he's doing an excellent job of, when he does get the opportunity, he's obviously cashing in. So I mean, without a doubt, special season. We have a lot of football left in front of us, but especially for a young man doing it in his second year, so carries a lot of relevance.
David?
Okay, Mike.
What's that?
I'm sure you trust Kellen and Dan with their obligations to the team and doing their work, but just in general, what's your preference, or how will you handle if you get requests for one or both of them? Do you prefer they talk later in the week, or how will it kind of be set up on your end?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just reiterate what I said a couple of weeks ago. I think as long as common sense is part of the process, I think everybody recognizes what the what a coach's schedule is. During we're on a 7-day week. Everybody's fairly similar to how you go about it. So I think obviously if it's not Monday through Thursday, I think that's practical, and I think it needs to be fair to the candidate, and also needs to be fair to the commitment that the candidate's a part of. If our guys are fortunate to have those interviews, obviously you embrace that. But yeah, like I said earlier, I just think as long as common sense prevails here, I think it'll be best for everybody.
I know you had some COVID issues, but you seem like you're getting healthy at the right time. That is it. Both with Mark that they felt the best they felt all season yesterday. And do you see that? And after last season, how important is that for you guys to be feeling this good late in the season?
Oh yeah, it's very important. I mean, that's the design of it. That's why, the staff, you spend as much time as you do on the training of the players. I think our players in particular have, tremendous resources both in the building and out of the building. I think they do an outstanding job with that and balance that. And you see that, more and more in the league in today's game. So, especially with this COVID challenge, I think our guys have done a really nice job. So, and we've tried to really make sure we get our work done. Don't ever jeopardize that, but just be smart with the time on the practice field and just pay attention to the workloads of the GPS and things like that. So we have a good plan. Most importantly, the players are carrying it out and doing a heck of a job with that. And I think it's definitely we're in a good spot right now.
Dak established a rhythm early yesterday, had a nearly perfect first half. Is there anything when you watch film, whether it's his footwork or some of the play calling that you can point to saying this worked to establish the rhythm, let's make sure we do it again next week?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's just like anything. We've been really focused on the details of certain, past principles where we felt we could do, be better at. And I think, when you see it carry over from the work that the players are doing onto the field, it's really beneficial. So, I mean, I think just, Washington was obviously in a huge challenge with the number of different personnel changes that they had, and I think that was reflected in how they called the game. So I think if we were able to anticipate, defensively more what we thought we were going to get, and I thought, our guys were, played fast, they were detailed, and obviously executed at a high level.
You mentioned Arizona a little bit ago. When you look back at what you guys added in terms of team speed on defense, was any of that related to the game you had against them a year ago?
Well, I mean, definitely recall the game in how the game went down. So, but yeah, no, I think just really overall team speed was part of our personnel focus and team speed and length, and I think we definitely accomplished that on defense. And and you're definitely see what's come of it too. So, but yeah, I would not say one team or one game, made us think that way. But you could definitely make a case and how that game went.
What does this say about the staff you put together where you have several assistant coaches who might get interviews this offseason or even in the next 2 weeks?
I mean, it says a lot. It says a lot about the staff and the players in the season, and just what we're, how we're doing things from a program standpoint. But, at the end of the day, it's about those individuals too. I think you have to acknowledge the guys that may have the opportunity, and it's definitely well deserving, and they're ready. So I mean, you embrace that, but I think it's these are hard jobs to get, and when you see someone put themselves in position, you appreciate that, because obviously we as a football team and our operation definitely benefit from that.
Prince Bernard now, he's in the same similar situation as what Blake Jarwin experienced, where he's injured but isn't able to rehab at the facility.
Michael, can you start at the beginning? Francis Bernard, okay. So go ahead.
So Blake Jarwin, when he was going through the hip, he got COVID and it kind of set him back. Now as Francis Bernard works through the rehab process while with COVID, can you address that dynamic of how that goes? And then as a quick follow-up, Blake Jarwin, do you think this is the week, or it will be next week? It will be this week, but he's able to step back on the practice field?
Well, I think when a player gets injured, I mean, obviously the COVID protocol is the precedent. So obviously, I mean, there's only so much that individuals can do when they're going through that. So yeah, it definitely is a setback in the rehab process, and I think that has occurred. And as far as Blake, saw him this morning actually in there. He said he's doing very well. I know that him and Brett are going to do some more work on the field. So he's getting better. He's getting close.
You obviously need help on the number 1 seed, Mike, but how much focus is there on the seeding part for you guys right now?
I mean, the nice thing about it is we play Arizona, so they're right in the middle of this thing too. So it's really, and that's all that matters. We have 11 wins. We clearly understand where we are today, but that's the beauty of this league, and it's the beauty of how the league has this schedule set up. With these division games, and obviously this is an important conference game for us. So really, our focus is on Arizona, and then we take care of business, and then we'll worry about that opportunity next week. But nothing factors if we don't take care of what's in front of us.
I think we're good.
Thank you for having me in your home today. I appreciate it. It was lovely. So.
I have a question.
Read the backgrounds, Mike. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Rich. Got
I have
something.
a question. Calvin, do you own all those trees in the backyard?
I was going to say that was my favorite one. Is that real?
Is that a picture?
This is my off-season home. Decided to come up after the game, just hang out.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like you're at Augusta National.
It's fake.